Hello, good evening to all. Myself Jishnu from the Eco Foundation, and it's our fifth talk in this webinar series, Share and Gain. And today our resource person is Miss Akshaya Sundaraj, BSF student, Tamil Nadu Jayalalitha Fisheries College, and she's going to take a small lecture on sustainable development in fisheries. Now I invite Akshaya to deliver the talk.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction. Whether my screen is visible? Huh?
It's not visible, Akshaya.
Not visible. Wait a sec, I will check.
Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay, fine. Visible, right?
Yes, visible. Hope everyone can see the screen.
Whether everyone can see my screen? Yes. Able to
Yes,
see the
Akshaya.
screen?
Yes, Akshaya, you can start.
Yeah, okay, fine. Let me start. Warm good evening, everyone. Good to see you all through this online platform. Today we have gathered here to share and gain some knowledge related to ocean fisheries and other aspects. So, okay, before moving to the presentation, I think my screen is visible and everyone can see my pointer, right? Okay. So, I think we all have an important role. What happened? Whether my screen is visible or not?
It's not visible now.
Oh my god, wait. Why it's not visible? I think someone is presenting, that's why it's interrupting. Ask others to not present, that's why it's getting interrupted. Whether now it's visible?
Hello. Now it is visible, and all a kind notice to all the participants. Please turn off your mic and video and listen to the speaker. And you just pin Akshaya's on the screen for the presentation. Okay, thank you.
Okay, fine. Let me start from first again. A warm good evening, everyone. Glad to meet you all through this online platform. Today, we all have gathered here to share and gain some knowledge related to ocean fisheries and related aspects. So, I think my screen is visible and you can see the colorful fishes and the coral reef that are found in this screen. So, I think we all have an important role to play in the future of an ocean. So, let me start by sharing what the ocean mean to each of us. So, I think whenever you are walking near the beach, you can very well feel that salty, tangy smell that hits your nose or the waves that tapping your feet, right? Like millions of stars in the galaxy, like this ocean also has a huge amount of organisms, that is n number of organisms, and their habitat is ocean. Today we are going to look regarding that. And the first image what you're seeing here, it's not some graphics or other than that. It's actually a real image taken from the Mesoamerican Reef, which is the second largest reef, and the first thing is Great Barrier Reef that is situated in Australia. So you can very well see that whenever there are corals, there will be fishes. So we are going to talk about that in detail today. So, my topic for today's discussion is sustainable development in fisheries. So, why I chose this topic is actually this is one of the globally debated topic, and as far as fisheries is concerned, it is the second most riskiest and hazardous job. In 2019, they conducted a survey regarding the 10 most risky and the hazardous job in the world. In that, fisheries is given the second position. So whenever someone is saying you sustainable development, you may feel bit of like a oxymoron, but actually that's not the case. So let's move forward without further delay. So whatever the topic is, we need to have a clear idea regarding the definition, like what is sustainable development and the related aspects. And the definition, what I have given here, is given by World Commission on Environment and Development. And what they mean here is development in the sense which meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future to meet their own needs. Let me make it simple for you. Imagine that today we are having a nutritious food, good air, and the clear water to drink, and everything we are having. But still, now, today also, we are facing a water crisis here and there. Think of the same situation will be there after 20 or 30 years. Who knows? So, there comes a sustainable development to play. So I think everyone can see this, right? These three concentric circles. So these concentric, actually, this is a Venn diagram, and this diagram gives you a better understanding regarding the sustainable development. What they mean here is environment in the sense it means to planet, and society in the sense it means to people, and economy in the sense it means to profit. So the planet, people, and the profit. These three things has to be in balance. Then only we can attain sustainable development. So this is what they mean by sustainable development. But reality is entirely different. These people are primarily focused on economy, which means we are mainly focused on profit and all those things. So these three concentric circles, these three concentric circles are not in balance, and now they have become like a more of Mickey Mouse model. Just think of that, how the bad the situation is now. So then, I think whenever we are talking about the environment or anything, it's important to know what happened before 20, 30 years or what's happening now and in the future. So I have listed some of the environmental timelines. Like there are a lot more things to be listed, but I have listed a very few things. I'm quickly going through brush these things. Firstly, I'm going to tell regarding the environmental protection that the Indian Constitution at the year 1947. This protection is seen as a high level of protection any country could offer. And after that, while talking about the sustainability and environment, I can't leave IUCN. Everybody will be knowing that IUCN is the International Union for Conservation of Nature. They have a greater role to play in sustainability because they are the one who play a greater role in finding which species are endangered or what are extinct and all those things. So they have a major role to play. And followed by them is the World Wildlife Fund, which is formed in 1961. And after that, I think this is the most important thing to take into consideration because publication of Silent Spring. Actually, this is a book, and this book has been written by an environmentalist called Rachel Carson. So why I say this book is important is till now it's one of the best ever sold environmental novel. Rachel Carson, what she addresses in this book is regarding the harmful effect of pesticides in the human, and mainly she is dealing with DDT, which is dichloro, diphenyl, and trichloroethane. So this book has made a great breakthrough in environmental field, and after that, followed by the polluters pay principle. This is actually very simple, and this principle is seen as a first step towards sustainable development. So, for example, if I am the person who is polluting the environment, then I am the person who is going to bear the charges for that. So that this principle is seen as a first step towards sustainable development. And then the sites. sites, in the sense, sites have a different role to play, which means they are mainly involved in regulating the international trade of endangered species. If any country is importing or exporting any endangered or extinct species, they will be taking into account and they will be considered those things. And then in class, for example, each and every country has a constitution, right? Constitution in the sense they frame a set of rules. Likewise, in class has framed a constitution for the ocean regarding up to where a traditional fisherman can go and up to where a state can enjoy a privilege of fishing, and all those things are included under in class. So again, the Montreal Protocol. This is something important because this protocol is primarily regarding the substance that are primarily involved in depleting the ozone layer. We all know that ozone layer are updated by certain gases like chlorofluorocarbon and all those things. This protocol is mainly regarding those. And after that is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and Earth Summit and all those things. And in 2002, first World Summit on Sustainable Development happened, and I'm going to talk about these four things because I think these four things also very important. So first thing is Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol in the sense, this protocol is primarily related regarding the climate change and regarding aspects. So after that, in 2013, what happened is NASA conducted a survey regarding the level of CO2 in the atmosphere. At that time, they found that shocking result that the CO2 level has reached a peak of 400 ppm. So it's important that we need to maintain a sustainable level in the CO2. Otherwise, it will be out of the box and it will be difficult to control in future. So in 2015, Paris Climate Agreement. This agreement is primarily regarding the rise in the global temperature. We all know that temperatures keep on rising and rising, and their target is to limit a rise in temperature within a 2 degrees Celsius. You may think just 2 degrees Celsius, what's it's going to do for the environment? But actually, the reality is there are also certain fragile or sensitive ecosystem. They couldn't even tolerate even a single degree rise in temperature. So this Paris Climate Agreement is regarding restricting the increase in temperature within 2 degrees Celsius. So in 2015, this is something I'm going to discuss in detail, which is the Sustainable Development Goal, or otherwise we can say this as global goals. So these goals are taken by all the United Nations member states. So India is also a member. So India is also following such things. So I've told you, right? Sustainable development goals is that, and these things are the 17 sustainable development goals they have framed, right from poverty, right from zero hunger, and everything. So why these goals are framed? So from 2015 to 2030, this sustainable development goal will be in action. So within that time frame, we need to achieve all these things. That is, we need to, if we want to go for sustainable development, then we need to achieve all these things. But I'm not going to talk about each and every sustainable development goal. I am primarily going to talk about the SDG 14, which is the life below water. What I strongly believe is this SDG 14 has the power. Actually, I feel like this is the win-to-win solution to all the problems that are listed here. You will understand at the end why I'm saying like this. So in SDG 14, there are also the key things what we need to address. SDG in the sense life below water, that is regarding the fisheries, ocean, and related sector. So in SDG 14, primarily they told that we need to reduce and marine pollution. So followed by that, we need to increase our marine protected area so that we can reduce an impact. So after that, most people were not aware what is really mean by ocean acidification. Let me give you a clarity what really ocean acidification mean by. So ocean acidification in the sense, we all know that ocean is giving us oxygen and communities who depend on these will also be affected. So these are some of these magical ecosystems that are never appreciated or untapped area that we need to focus. Then Other than that, mangroves also play a role in preserving aquatic life. They navigate appreciate in disaster reduction, biodiversity protection. Then, if you want to reduce the carbon emissions, then mangroves are the best option. Am I
Hello.
audible?
Ha-
Am I audible?
Uh, it's okay now.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Let me continue.
Yes, you can
Hello.
continue. Okay, you can continue now.
Okay. Yeah, you can interrupt me if you can't hear my voice or see my presentation. You can interrupt me. Shall I start? Hello.
Yes, you can start now.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So where I left, yeah, I was talking about the mangroves, right? So these mangroves have a greater role in disaster reduction, biodiversity protection, and also have a role in playing a climate change mitigation. So what happens is if when there is enough mangroves, there will be enough fishes. So there will be increase in fish production, and alternatively, we are the one going to cherish all those things. So next thing. Yeah, I think everybody can see this image. This is not some multicolored coral. Actually, this is some coral. You can at the bottom you can see the white color, and at the top you can see a brown color. Why bottom they are white is they are stressed. They are at a high stress. I told you that even a single degree rise in temperature couldn't be bear by some organisms. These are the best example for them. Actually, coral reef are very sensitive and fragile ecosystem, so you can't monitor the health of an ocean like how we monitor the health of humans. So if you want to do, you don't have to do anything. Just go and check whether the corals are colored or bleached. If they are bleached means you can very well understand that the ocean is under stress, which means something is bad in that system. So because of this, we call this event as coral bleaching. Let me tell you the relation between the coral and the animal symbionts. So most people think coral are plants, but actually that's not the case. Actually, corals are invertebrates. Like humans, we used to have a bony skeleton. These corals are having a calcified skeleton. Calcified in the sense their skeleton is made up of CaCO3. So they are the close relatives of jellyfishes and sea anemones. These corals have a perfect relationship with the algal symbiont, that is the microalgal partner. That algal name is known as zooxanthellae, actually, which is a dinoflagellate. So in this image, I'm going to tell you what is the relation between the zooxanthellae and the corals. So, for example, in water, everyone needs a nutrition. Likewise, in water, coral also needs a nutrition to go. So these nutrients, primarily nitrogen and phosphorus, are mostly present in dissolved forms because they can't take up the nutrients in this forms, that is in inorganic form. So what they do is because of this algal symbionts, they convert this inorganic nitrogen and phosphorus into organic one so that the coral can take up the nutrition and grow well. And indirectly, coral is also rendering a protection which acts as a sunscreen to this algal cells. So one cannot live without another. So if something is not bad or something the situation and the conditions is not favorable, these corals will not be able to take up this algal cells. In that way, they will expel them so that the coral will become bleached. Again, I have told you right three ecosystem. I have dealt with mangrove, then coral reef. Now I'm going to talk about the seagrass ecosystem. Yeah, these this may look like a patch of grass. Actually, this is we can say this as an underwater gardens or something related to that. Most people confuse seagrass and seaweed. Both are entirely different. The main difference between them is seagrasses or rooted plants. But in case of seaweed, they have no roots. Instead, they used a hold fast, which means just a structure for getting attached into some area. And these are the only flowering plants or grasses that are found underneath the ocean. So we can say them as an underwater garden, or we can say them as an ecological engineer. Why I say them as ecological engineer is these waves will have certain amount of energy. So whenever there is a chances of storm, these wave energy will be taken up by these seagrasses, and they also play a greater role in maintaining a water quality. So then, so if you're not able to see in my previous slide regarding, or if you got confused regarding coral, you can very well see in this slide that this is a dead coral and this is a live coral. If the coral is bleached, it doesn't mean that it's completely dead. So whenever the favorable condition it's bouncing back, there are also chances of coral returning to life. So first picture I have told you and shown you that wherever corals are there are fishes. Like the corals are dead now, so there are no fishes. So you can understand that if coral is damaged, and the whole fisher folks will be damaged. And I think coral is the highly biodiverse environment in the planet because they occupy a very less amount of area, that is less than 1% of this area is occupied by the corals, but they are the life to 25% of fishes, and 1 billion people are primarily depend on these coral fishes. So just think how diverse and complex this ecosystem is. So most people ask me that why coral is mostly brown in color. The reason behind the color is, for example, I have told you they have a symbiosis. They are in mutual relationship with algal symbionts. So if the algae, their primary pigment, it depends on the pigment of the algae. If the algae is having fucoidin, then it will be brown in color. If the algae is having phycocyanin, then it will be blue in color. So the color of the coral primarily depends on the zooxanthellae, and one cannot live without each another. So again, I've told these are not the images to tell you that this is sea otter, this is seahorse, or this is sea turtle. Actually, these are some of the creatures that are at the major threat. And if we still not take these things in a serious note, then we will be able to see these things only in the picture. And I have to really talk about this, like the sharks. So everybody used to see a Hollywood movie or everything where they portray shark as a bloodthirsty human hunter and their favorite meal is human. But actually, when you see the reality, movies are just a part of reality. They're not completely revealing the truth. So these sharks are portrayed as villains, but actually they are not. They're actually a docile creature, and you can see even in every hour, 11,000 sharks are killed primarily by the humans. For this shark, the major threat is human. I've told you that there are a lot of illegal fishing happening in fisheries sectors. Likewise, what happens to this shark is the shark fin soup. The shark fin soup is seen as or eaten as a delicacy in Southeast Asian states like Hong Kong, Philippines, and they used to taste this shark fin soup. So how they are doing is fisher folks they used to get into the sea, and primarily they take the sharks out and just slit the fins, like they're cutting the fins and throwing the shark body back to the water when they are alive. Just think if we were left without hands and legs, whether we will be able to survive. That's what we term that as shark finning, which means that illegally we are cutting their fins and throwing the body back to the water. So because of this, in a year, if you take annually, more than 100 million sharks are hunted and illegally exported to Hong Kong, primarily for the purpose of enjoying shark fin soup. So, other than that, shark is giving us everything, right from the jaws, right from the squalene, and we are enjoying the sharks from the shark skin. We are enjoying shark green, right? We are taking everything out of the shark and portraying shark as the real villains. So this sharks gives you a clear message that you are what you eat. So we need to keep them clear because sharks are also have a greater role to play. Of course, they are the predator, which means they consume fishes and other than things. Other things. If sharks are dead, then the whole ecosystem will be in proper control. So I've dealt a lot regarding the ocean sector and related things. Fisheries is not something regarding ocean around. It's even more than that. So I would like to give you an idea regarding the inland sector. Inland in the sense freshwater. So you all know that Ganga is our national river, and most people think that dolphins are found primarily in ocean, but that's not the case. There are also river dolphins which are found in Ganga, Indus. Tributary of Indus is Bees. You can find the river dolphin in Bees River, Amazon River, or in China River. Totally four species of dolphins are found in the world, and those four species are also endangered. The reason is because of increase in salinity, pollution. Everybody knows that Yamuna is the most polluted river in India, and if you take globally, this is the second most polluted river in the world. So because of this pollution and everything, this national, everybody knows that national bird or national tree, but this river dolphin is the national aquatic animal of India. This has been declared by government of India in the year 2009. So, likewise, for humans, we used to conduct a census just to have an idea regarding whether the population is increasing or decreasing. Likewise, Uttar Pradesh has already taken a step to take a census on river dolphin. And the method what they used for taking the census is direct count method. This direct count method was under the IUCN guidelines. They have followed everything and they have taken the census regarding how many species of dolphin are left in India. So we can. They also have other names like Susu or Tiger of Ganga, and all those names are there. IUCN status. I have told you they are the one. They tell us whether the animal is endangered, extinct, threatened, or whatever it is. So these river dolphins are endangered, which means we need to protect them. Right. Apart from that, this river dolphin has been adapted as the state aquatic animal of Punjab, and the scientific name is Platinista gangetica minor. So then every year, April 14th is celebrated as National Dolphin Day, just to make people aware that this is our national aquatic animal and we need to conserve them. Likewise, I told you that ocean is suffering from deoxygenation and related things. Likewise, in river also, because of effluents and lack of oxygen, these fishes are dead. So deoxygenation problem is not only in ocean, in river and everything. I think it's very much important that we also have to conserve our inland sector because India or every country, their primary source of drinking water are from fresh water. So if our waters are not clean, then our health will not be in good level. I think you can see this image. This is not some image taken from a Disney World or some frozen park. Actually, this is an image captured from the Yamuna River in 2019. And the reason behind this foam formation is because of toxic effluents that have entered the river. And the reason for this foam formation is primarily increase in ammonia level. Because of increase in ammonia level, this river has turned into a toxic foam. But people were not aware of that, enjoying and taking selfies and doing all those things. So it's true that only less than 10% of the sewage is treated and getting entered the river. And other than that, everything is directly we are pouring to the river and polluting the environment and we are drinking that water. So I think Delhi is primarily suffering from deadly air pollution to dying river and everything. We need to protect our environment first before protecting ourselves. Yeah, in each and every sector, we can differentiate like before and after COVID. There is a huge difference in every sector. Likewise, fisheries is also having a major difference. Like before COVID, I have dealt you that ocean acidification and all those things because of increase in pH, acidity, and all those things. But what happens here is after COVID-19, we are because of less interaction between the environment and human, we are giving them a chance to rebound back. We are giving them a time to reproduce and enlarge their population. So this is seen as a time that there are chances that we can even revive back our precious fisheries and related resources. So this is an image showing that I've told you that less than 2% of the areas enjoying the marine protection. So when compared with 2000, there's a gradual increase in marine protected area by the end of 2019. So each and every country must make in mind that sustainable fisheries is the key goal for increase in GDP. When they are moving towards sustain, not only in fisheries, each and every sector they need to move towards sustainable practices. Then only a country economy, when the health of people is good, then definitely GDP will also be good. I've dealt with that in the early session itself, port state measure agreement and all those things. I told you, right, during the Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 14 will be the win to win solution to all problems. The first thing they have listed is reducing the poverty, right? Um, Let me start from here. Like food security. Most people confuse food security and food safety. They are entirely different. Food security, in the sense, if there are 9 or 10 million people are there, you need to feed each and every people with nutritious food. You should not starve anyone. So that's the primary goal of FAO. They are working towards zero hunger. That's known as food security. If you take food safety, which is from eating those food, you should not be get affected. That is getting diseases through food. That's known as food safety. So it's something different. And food safety is dealt by FSSI, and then primary goal of SDG is reducing the poverty, right? So whenever we are moving towards sustainability, there will be secured food, then you will be, there won't be any poverty because there won't be any poverty because each and every individual is getting nutrition. And finally, if everyone livelihood and everything is good, there will be a real growth in the economy also. So sustainability will reflect in economy and the lifestyle of each and every persons involved. So you may think that I'm not a biologist or I'm not a science student, whether I'm connected to fisheries or ocean. Yes, my answer to that question is yes, because everywhere everyone is breathing, so that we are indirectly or directly connected to fisheries and ocean sector. So we all used to say that there is a solution and there is a way to rectify everything. So whenever some change is happening, there is a way to reinvent something. Likewise, we are the luckiest generation. We have the power to solve any problem that arises. So firstly, what we need to do is proper awareness. We need to educate people that this should and this shouldn't be done. If people are aware, they won't be doing anything. So bycatch reduction devices that has to be installed in fisheries like gear. They need to install the bycatch reduction devices. That way we can substantially increase our population. And the most important thing is input and output goals. Everything will be coming under this input and output controls. Input in the sense what we say them as effort management, and output in the sense that's known as catch management. For example, input means what is the message that I can use for a gear, or how long my boat can be, how long I can go and catch fish, how much fish I can get and get returned to the land. These are the things that are coming under the input and output, which means you need to have a license and everything before going to fishes. So rules and everything is strict. There won't be any chances for illegal or all those things. It's always good to follow the rules and stick to it. So then diversification is the key when it or something is supply sudden or something supply sudden or something supply is high. It's of no problem that in the next month we will also we will be asking for sardine, but that's not the case. If this month you are enjoying the sardine, and other month you need to say what is the seasonal stock, like season, like fruits we used to say there is from this season we used to get mango, and this season we used to get jackfruit. Likewise, there are also season stocks in fisheries, so that you need to go for a seasonal and local stock instead of going for some imported or exported products. And it's also clear that we need to increase our protected areas. If you keep on increasing the protected areas, you can very well conserve resources in a possible way it could. And then eco-friendly practices. So whenever we are going to invest something or whenever we are going to do something, you need to ask yourself whether this is eco-friendly, whether this will be beneficial to the environment. It's very much important that it's also important to safeguard ourselves. At the same time, we need to safeguard our environment. So I have dealt most of the things regarding the world scenario and everything. And these are the steps taken by the India. I also want to highlight what Indian government has did. So firstly, kudos to Indian government for introducing a separate ministry for fisheries. So whenever there is a separate ministry for fisheries, you can very well deal that what's really the problem is and what are the ways to rectify it. And there won't be any investment will be there, so that people will also enjoy that and their livelihood will be better, so everything. So really we need to thank the government for establishing this ministry for fisheries, which is actually established in the previous year 2019 May. And because of this ministry, this year they have launched a flagship scheme, which we term that as Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Through this, the main purpose of this PMMSY is to ensure the sustainable fisheries everywhere regarding the foods, job, and everywhere we need to ensure a sustainable fisheries in India. So then the post harvest and value addition. Value addition in the sense people need to aware that there are also the great value for value addition and related aspect, and it also have a role to play in GDP. Regulation of exotics. Likewise, you can't introduce some foreign species, like some species used to grow only in American or African water. You can't straight away introduce them to the India. So there is a strict regulation what you have to follow before going for regulation, what you have to follow before introducing some exotic species to India. And then certification and traceability. Traceability in the sense right from fish to fork, from where it is caught, by which net or which gear it is caught, whether the fish I am eating today or whether the seafood I am eating today is caught through sustainable or illegal. You will have an idea when people are going towards traceability. And then certification in the sense MSc certification. I would like to talk about the MSc certification, which is the Marine Steward certification that is primarily given to wild stocks. Wild stock in India, only one seafood has got an MSc certification. That also because of people thought that we need to move towards sustainability, and it's nothing from Astamudi Lake. There is the short neck clam has received an MSc certification, and because of this, the demand for short neck clam has increased in global market, and the farmers are cherishing the benefits. So these are the next two initiatives that has been taken by Indian government. So I really see these two things as a big shout out to government, because this is the first in the world itself, not only in India or Asia, for the in the world itself, first sea cucumber conservation area is about to launch in Lakshadweep. So because of this, whatever the illegal activities that is happening in sea cucumber can be ended. And because sea cucumber have been used in the Chinese medicine, Chinese traditional, most people Chinese are dependent on traditional medicines that too primarily from the fisheries sector. So if this strict restriction has been placed, there won't be any illegal practices regarding sea cucumber. And NRDC is the National Dolphin Research Center, which is about to set up in Bihar, mainly to conserve our national aquatic animal. So this is something regarding the UN decade, because from every year UN used to name a decade. Like for example, if you take 2010 to 20, that's named as a decade for biodiversity, and this year from 2021 to 30, they have named this decade as ecosystem restoration. I think this is the right time to act, because not only because of the decade that is named, so it's the right time because people are getting aware regarding what should be done and shouldn't be done. So if we act now, definitely there are chances of rebounding our nature back to the place. And I want to end my presentation by saying there are a lot of success stories in India, but I'm not going to say each and everything. I'm going to quickly say you three success stories of India. So primarily, I'm going to say regarding first thing is regarding the Chilika Lake. You all know that Chilika Lake is the largest brackish water lagoon in India. There was a time when the Chilika Lake was under the Montreux record, and after 2002, because of the initiation taken by the government and the fisher folks of Chilika Lake understood that our lake is suffering because of siltation and sedimentation, and because of that, now the lake has been made into a better site, and there is a big fishery site for the people that are in Orissa, and now it's out of Montreux record. It's really a very big initiative taken by the people and the government. And secondly, I'm going to talk about again the Kerala fish farmers. What they did is I have told you that plastic has become a biggest invader regarding the oceans. So what they did is they bring the plastic back to the shore. Like whenever they are going for fishing, they also used to catch some of the plastics and bring them back to the shore, and they recycled and shredded, and then they add those plastic to the roads to make them stronger. So because of this, in a year, they have reduced 25 tons of plastic that has entered the ocean. Just think, if we think we could really act, then we can definitely see a major difference. So India is already is on a mission to stop a single-use plastic by the end of 2022. So I would also like to add finally, that nothing goes as waste in the ocean. So if you take anything like I have told you that jellyfishes are the reason why fishes are not that much. So if you take jellyfish or water hyacinth, which is the major invader, or we can common name for water hyacinth is the Bengal terror or Iconia and all those things. They are the major invader in the freshwater area. What they did is these people approaching for organic farming and everything, they made sanitary napkins from jellyfishes and water hyacinth, and they are making available to the people at a lower expenses. So it's very clear that the actions what you take today will determine the stories you tell tomorrow. So the next 10 years will going to be the story for the next 10,000 years. So last but not the least, I would like to end by saying save nature for vigorous future. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your patience listening. And also, I would like to thank the ECO Foundation for giving me this precious opportunity to share my views.
Okay, thank you, Akshay, for such a wonderful presentation. And there is a kind notice for all the attendees. Actually, we have a plan to conduct another webinar series called Sunday Spark, and it is especially for the faculties who are interested to deliver a talk in our platform. And that will start from August 1st, Sunday, and it will rotate to every Sundays. And now we will move to the discussion section. And if you have any queries, you can put that in the text box.
Yeah,
Here there is some queries.
yeah,
I will.
yeah, okay, fine.
One question from Vijay Pratap is
Okay.
how microplastic will be clean up the deeper horizon oil spill. That was his question. How my
Actually,
how
I don't
microbes will
understand
clean
the
up?
question. What is about us? Yeah, you can you
Sorry.
repeat the question?
Yes.
Yeah.
How microbes will clean up the deeper water horizon oil spills.
Oil spills like he's talking something about the Pseudomonas aeruginosa and bioremediation, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like whenever we are going, microbes have the ability to convert oil spill means that oil spill will be primarily having a hydrocarbon compounds, right? We need to have a clear idea that oil spills are the primary hub for hydrocarbons. So these bacteria, they can break down these hydrocarbons, and from those hydrocarbons, they are taking up the energy. So through that, we can very well reduce. But if the oil spill is huge and it's spread over a widespread, then it's tough and difficult to reduce, but somehow we can reduce. Yeah. Hello.
And hello.
Hmm.
Next question. Do
Uh,
you think the mariculture can be a sustainable practice to reduce over exploitation?
yeah, of course, I believe that because in sustainable mariculture, we are going to construct the cages and we are going to monitor and everything. When that also I have already told you whether you are using and banned antibiotics, or there are also medicines that are listed that it shouldn't be used by CAA and some concerned authorities. When you are using and when you are going for using the correct antibiotics and you are using the correct feed and everything, then it will be sustainable. But if you are using some illegal hormones or anything, then it won't be sustainable. It depends. Yeah,
Okay, and one more question from our YouTube live channel,
yeah.
and that question is,
Uh,
what are the most sustainable commercial? Sorry, same question. Sorry. Uh, okay, it was same question by the same person. Sorry.
okay. Any other queries?
And yes, one more query is there. And
Uh,
what is the function of scroll valve in shark?
Scroll ball, yeah, it's a very good thing. Actually, the major difference between the bony fishes and the cartilaginous fishes are this scroll wall. The scroll wall will not be present in fishes like Elias. The main purpose of this scroll wall is to increase the area for absorption. Like in the stomach portions, there will be scroll wall. Because of this scroll wall, the surface area is better, so that better the absorption of food and everything will be happening. It's related to metabolism and digestion.
Okay, and next question. What are the strategies for sustainability in small scale coastal fisheries?
Small scale coastal fisheries, I think if whatever it is, whether from small scale or mariculture or coastal aquaculture, what you're going to do really matters. Small scale means we also have to stick to the loops. Like if you in small scale also there is a considerable amount of effluence that is getting enter the waters. So we need to treat them and we need to have a ETP plant or everything that should be that. Then only we can go for sustainability and everywhere. Whenever we are following the rules, definitely we can go for sustainable practices.
And next, how turtles will be the most affected one by marine plastic?
Yeah, I have told you, right? Turtles, I have already told you that if you want to keep jellyfishes in control, turtles are the only way because their favorite meal is jellyfish. So, what they used to think is we human can very well differentiate like this is jellyfish and this is plastic. But they think like because of it looks like something, it's mimicking like a it's mimicking like a jellyfish. Turtles assume that this is the jellyfish, this is their favorite meal, and they used to engulf them unknowingly. They're engulfing them, and primarily it's getting affected. That's why I'm saying the primary source is jellyfishes because plastics is looking more similar like a jellyfishes. It's not microplastic. I'm talking about the big oil covers and the carry bags. They look more like jellyfish. That's why they are consuming and choked, and their population is getting depleted.
And one more question is there. What is the difference between andromonas and catrodomus fishes?
Yeah, this is where most people used to confuse between. Even I used to confuse between anadromous and catadromous when I was studying fisheries initially. Anadromous and catadromous, these two things are primarily related to migration. Anadromous in the sense the fishes from seawater will be migrating to the fresh water, and it's vice versa for catadromous fishes. For the best example for the anadromous fishes would be hilsa and all those things, and the example for the catadromous fishes will be eel, angula, and all those things. There are also fishes very much essential that the purpose behind the migration is simple. For the purpose of getting the feed, the purpose of breeding, and all those things. That's why they are migrating. And even there are two more types like potamodromus or oceanodromus. The best example for the oceanodromus could be tuna, which means they will migrate only within a ocean. Potamodromus, in the sense, they used to migrate within a freshwater, that is from one river to another river. There are several types.
If anyone have more queries, you just please text that in the chat box. Any queries?
Is there any queries?
Yes, one more question is there. How to
Yeah.
control the ocean warming problem to protect our ocean ecosystem?
Yeah. Actually, change is a ripple effect, and it has to begin with each one of us. I think if you want to check how the individual or your family is contributing to the carbon footprint, you can go to World Wildlife Fund website, and that they are having a measure like you can just like MCQ question. They used to ask some of the questions like whether you have purchased this or what's your revenue. Like, but those things will be related to the carbon footprint. So when you try that, you will have a clear idea like whether you are contributing to increase in temperature or not. So if you want to reduce a carbon footprint, then what you need to do is try to go for a public vehicle instead of always going through your private vehicle. And then we are likewise, beef is also the major contributor to CO2 and other those things. When you understand that you are the reason behind that, you can very well control. And if you have any doubt also, you can go to that website and you can very well check your own carbon footprint to the environment.
And next question: how male sea cows give birth?
male sea cows give birth, they are more like a mammals. Like they also have to have some uh, like how we are, like they are also having that mammals are also similar to humans, like the way they used to breed and they give birth, and we call them as pups or calves. We used to call the young one as calves. Hello.
Hello, I think the questions are over, and now we can wind up our section. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Akshay, for such a wonderful presentation. And our
Yeah.
next talk will be on Saturday on the same time, 7:30. And next talk will be on environmental taxation, a special aspect to fisheries science by Ashwini from same university, Jayalalitha Fisheries University. Okay, thank you, one and all. We will see you in our next talk. Okay, thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much. And feedback will be sent to your registered mail ID. Okay, thank you.